Well, hell, we are live. We are. I see a little
I
thing
think
that
we're
posts
good.
here. Said
There we go.
we're live. We're live. We are.
Now we are.
Here we are. Hey, you want to hear? You want to hear something? That if it comes through in the background, something that you'll like.
What?
Listen.
I got a weed eater going behind me. I can't hear anything. What are you jamming to?
Well, I just wanted to bring in a little bit of our old music that we used to have. I played a little bit of the intro from Bonnie Raitt's "Something to Talk About."
Oh yeah.
Kind of miss hearing that music, so I had it queued up, as they say in the business. And also, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
You know what's really interesting? I'm looking at the screen, and usually we are on the other sides.
Yes.
I'm usually over there, and you're over here.
Are you feeling a little off balance?
Huh? I just have to remember to look this way when I'm.
Yeah. I know. Well, I almost didn't come out today because I thought it looked like it might drizzle, but the clouds are moving, so we're good.
Well, I was going to say if about halfway through the show you become a little obscured, I'll know that Sahara dust has come across Texas.
Yeah. When is that supposed to hit?
They talked about that, and then whatever happened, I never heard any follow up as to where it went and how.
I don't know. I don't know. It's like I just don't even turn the news on. You just don't know what you're going to hear every day.
Yeah.
It's like crazy. Now you know that my Matthew was just telling me that the bars have been closed down and again, and restaurants are back down from 75% capacity to 50%.
You know, they talked about that. They said opening everything up was going to put people at risk. You saw pools opening up and people gathering there. They were too many people were shoulder to shoulder. Look, we've had all these protests in the streets and peaceful marches, but people were walking, many of them with masks, but a lot of them were not social distance. They were all shoulder to shoulder. So it was like, you know, a kind of an accident waiting to happen. And now we are seeing, in fact, Lauren even said to me this morning, you sure you don't want to try and go to the barbershop and get a haircut because they may shut the barbershops down again. So, you know, now we were all just maybe getting into the mode of occasionally going out and sitting in an outdoor a restaurant and all, and that may end, and we may be back to just, you know, picking it up at the curb and taking it.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if that there's. I haven't heard any talk yet of them closing restaurants, closing them, but I have heard of that they are going down from 75% to 50%. Which, I mean, that makes sense. Maybe we just kind of reacted too fast, too soon. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But then, ask yourself the question. You know, when do you get out? When do you make the move?
Well, and also, you know, you got 50 different states that are doing things 50 different ways.
Yeah.
We don't have one consistent program nationwide. And of course, if we did, then there would be a lot of dissonance over that, because some would say, well, you know, our cases are on the decline, so we can open more places. And somebody else says, well, but if it's across the board, you got places like, you know, New York City has been doing a great job of trying to control it there, but LA, it's almost getting away from them. And then here in Texas, there was a huge spike in Houston, and that's kind of all over the country. And what's really alarming to me was they put out a chart the other day that was looking at the COVID-19 epidemic worldwide, and while a lot of other countries like Britain and France and Canada and Australia is down to very manageable numbers, but the United States is just while everybody else is starting to move downward, we're hitting that second spike. And it's not even the fall yet. When they say when the temperatures get cooler in the fall, if we don't have a a serum available to inoculate people against this disease, once the heat's gone and the cold comes back, we may see another rise.
Yeah.
We're playing this ball game right now of do you or don't you. Everybody wants to, but is it in fact safe? Or we go back to trying to find out what the latest movies are and series are on Netflix, and
yeah, I don't know. Not everybody can do that.
The upside for you must be the fact that you've got your family with you. Everybody. I think you said, was everybody in town, or you just
everybody is right now, today, this weekend.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I've got Matthew and Jenna here working from the house, and Phil, of course, working from home still, and Emily's taking some summer school classes, so she's doing that online. And Ellie's off for the summer, so she's just kind of bouncing around. But yeah, so everybody is here, and I mean, yeah, that's a plus.
I mean, that's kind of my feeling when I'm looking at what's going on with everybody, is the fact that we are spending a little bit more family time.
I'm carrying you inside.
You are? Why, it's starting to rain?
No, my lawn people just got here.
Oh.
Sorry.
Mine just left.
Sorry, everybody. Yeah. Everybody's in here working, so hang on. I'm gonna have to find a place to go.
All right, so we'll kind of keep it down, so we don't want to disturb them, do we?
I'll shut the door. Okay, sorry, everybody.
Oh, this is like love it or list it. We're going on the house.
I don't know what it is. Okay, sorry. Here I am.
Oh boy,
I had to come into our laundry room. So anyway, nice and quiet.
We go from the patio to the laundry room.
Yeah, sorry about that. Here I am though. But anyway, yeah. So no, that's a plus side that everybody's here.
Yeah, and that's I mean, I really appreciate that. I spent Father's Day, spent a few hours over at my son's house, and it was nice having everybody together, and we had brunch together.
Oh, that's nice. I'm listening.
The downside to all of this is there are a lot of instances where people are able to travel, and so they can't go over and see other relatives. Lauren has been trying to get to see her mom down in Florida, and she can't get a flight, or she's had to postpone a couple of times. B, if she gets there, she's not allowed into the retirement center where her mom is, because they've got everything shut down.
Why can't she get a flight?
Well, she did have a flight booked. She was supposed to go back in May. She was going to go there for Mother's Day, and they weren't allowing anybody in, so she postponed it until June. And now she just, actually just kind of put it all on hold, because we thought maybe rebook for August, early September. Well, we don't know what's going to happen then yet anyway.
Well, the thing about you can book it and then just use your ticket whenever you can use your ticket. The
airlines have been great about doing that, letting you bank it, if you will,
right.
Reschedule it, because frankly, the airlines don't know what flights they're going to have and which ones are going to get canceled anyway.
Yeah.
So it is a kind of a wait and see program, almost everything.
And like you said, there's no consistency really across the board from state to state. Numbers are up, numbers are down, restaurants are opening, restaurants are closing. People are quarantining, people are not quarantining, people are wearing masks, people are not wearing masks. People are traveling, there are no travel restrictions. Some people are choosing not to travel. It's absolutely like so confusing to me. I just try to do my part as one individual in this whole big scenario. I'm wearing a mask. I'm washing my hands. I'm keeping my social distance from other people. I haven't been actually really anywhere but a couple restaurants. I have gone to a couple restaurants. I have gone and gotten my hair done. I did make a return the other day to the mall. It was my first time back at a mall in months. But other than that,
was it busy?
yeah, it was pretty busy. The parking lot was full, and
Really? Now, were there people that were practicing social distancing in the mall, or was it kind of 50-50 between who was wearing masks and who wasn't?
yeah, 50-50.
And
You know,
did it seem like most of the stores were open? Who is that, Rocky?
it's my cats. Now I've gone from the lawn people to the kitten is trying to get Rocky. Rocky's on this side of the door and the kitten is on the other side of the door. You know, we got a quarantine kitten. You know, you and I were going to talk about all the good things and the good things that we were doing during quarantine.
Yeah.
One thing that we did is we got a new kitten, and she's adorable. So she's our little quarantine kitten. Her name is Ruka. But you can see, hang on, you can see Rocky.
Yeah.
He's
and Rocky's trying to get to Ruka.
He's on this side of the door, and she's sticking her paw. She's sticking her paw onto the other side of the door. Anyway, she's adorable. We just love her to death, but she's a cutie. And Rocky, I can't say Rocky really loves her, but
well, now you said that Ruka is a quarantine cat.
Yeah.
And what's the backstory on that? How did it become a quarantine cat?
Meaning we got her during quarantine.
Oh, okay.
So I meant a quarantine kitty. So what I mean, Emily got her down in Waco. They were advertising, this woman advertised that her cat had a litter of kittens, and she did the responsible thing by posting it and saying, I can't keep all these kittens. And I think there was a very small litter, maybe only 3 kittens. And Emily went down and they did it. They actually did this transaction very responsibly. The woman put 2 kittens in a box, put the box in the yard, went back in the house, and then Emily went up, looked in the box, picked her kitten, and kind of waved to the woman on the porch. I think they exchanged a couple, a little bit of a conversation from porch to front yard. And then Emily took the kitten that she chose, and then went on her way. They were free kittens, so there was no, so now we have this little kitten. She's adorable. She's really, really cute. She's going to be big. She's got big paws. She's got very long legs. So she's going to be a big cat.
Emily picks out this little kitten. How did it end up becoming mom's cat?
Yeah, that does happen, doesn't it?
Or did she just bring it with her?
Yeah, she brought her home with her, and then, actually we had her here for a while. Emily went back down to Waco for about a week, and we had the kitten. And the kitten's going to end up going to Baylor with Emily when Emily goes back, but it's summertime, so yeah.
Another little mini Baylor bear.
Another mini Baylor bear, yes. Yeah. We got lots of Baylor bears. But anyway, she's a cutie. So that's what I'm dealing with right now inside this little, because I've got Rocky trapped in here because he was screaming, crying at the door. But anyway, so anyway, the mall was, honestly, I was making comments to my friends that you wouldn't think that there was any pandemic or whatever going on, everything, because when I would get out and about, it just looked like normal. I had to run into Staples one day last week, and yeah, it just seemed like it was just normal time, not normal times, but how it was before we all. So, but the thing of it is, for me, when I hear about the possibility of having to go back into like quarantine, I think, gosh, I mean, we did it and we did it comfortably. But there are so many people out there that are probably very, very fearful of the thought of having to do that again, just because they can't do it as they need to work, they need to get out. So I don't know in which direction we're headed right now, because I know that Governor Abbott, at least here, has already closed down the bars, which I'm okay with that. The bars, that was getting a little out of control, I think. But but the restaurants and things like that, I'm hoping that we can maintain, just lower the capacity rather than just closing all these places down again. Is my hope.
Yeah, and also we started exploring alternatives, and I think that that's what we're going to have to continue to do. Case in point, Lauren and I watched a play last night from Theater 3 here in Dallas. It was a play called The Immigrant. It was a very, very well done production, but it was all done virtually. There were 4 actors, and at no time, it was all pre-done, pre-recorded, if you will. But each one of the actors did their part separately. They never were on stage together at the same time. Each one of them did all of their parts together, and then the editor, who did a phenomenal job, edited the whole thing so you felt like you were sitting in a theater watching this stage production.
Hmm.
So that's the positive thing that this epidemic has given to us, is the creative ability for people to kind of repurpose and reinvent themselves. You say the bars are closing, okay, so you go over to the liquor store and you buy yourself a few bottles of liquor and all, and you have it at home, and you mix your drinks in the evening and sit and have a conversation with your spouse or your family, and you don't have to necessarily be sitting on a stool in a bar in order to do that. The restaurants, some of the restaurants, what they're doing is, instead of closing their doors, they're preparing meals that you go online, you order the meal, and then you come by, you text, let them know that you're sitting out in front. They bring the food out to your car, you go home, and within 10 minutes, you're sitting and having a hot meal. There are other restaurants that are just saying, you know what, let's just close the doors and we'll wait until we can reopen. You have to be flexible in what you're doing. Going back to when you were in the mall, I'm just curious. Did it seem like all the stores were open, or there were some?
No, not at all.
And the ones that you went into, were the sales staff all wearing masks?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's really it's up to the patrons, and I hate to beat a dead horse, but I think it's just a matter of respect. If you don't want to wear the mask because you just either protest against wearing it or it's uncomfortable, think about the other people. Have a little respect for the other people that you may be interacting with. Have a little respect for people like me who are older and that are in a much more vulnerable position of getting this illness, that if I have to go out and I'm wearing a mask, I would like to have as little chance of contracting the disease as possible. And that's by using the face mask. It's really no big deal.
Right. Yeah, so, I agree with you. Just wearing the mask makes people around you feel more comfortable, and the people who don't care just don't care. It doesn't matter, But I wear the mask too. Just really for that reason too, because I don't know, but I mean, I think it serves some purpose. I really do, not just to make people comfortable, but it does make sense to protect your mouth and your. Anyway, yeah, no, the mall was pretty back to the way it was, with the exception of a few places that were still closed. I got in and out pretty quickly. I didn't just kind of browse around. The inventory, I will say, the inventory seemed very low to me. In almost every store that I only went into 2, but
well, I'm finding that a little bit in some of the grocery stores too, that because so many goods in a grocery store have expiration dates, especially your fruits and vegetables and all, that there are not mountains and mountains of fruits and vegetables now. They're trying to control it and keep it a little bit closer to the amount of people that are using, so that there's less waste and spoilage. And for instance, when we go to the grocery store, We go the minute they open the doors. Get in there, get our goods, and get out. Because if you go later in the day, there's usually more people, and there's also more staff that is there that are unpacking goods. Lauren is very, very conscious. When we get home with our bags of groceries, she wipes everything down before it's put into the pantry or on a shelf.
Yeah.
And those are just the little precautions you have to make. Another, I'll tell you another upside, a positive for going through all of this stuff. You know what I've started doing?
What?
Baking bread.
Yes.
I've become a baker.
What kind of bread?
It's called challah, and it's a braided loaf of bread. Simple 6 ingredients. You mix it with the yeast, and then mix the yeast concoction into the flour. Knead it, let it rise for an hour and a half, and then break it up. Braid it, put it in the oven. Maybe put some sesame seeds on it. I haven't tried the cinnamon raisin yet. I'm going to work on that. But boy, there is really nothing like fresh bread.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The smell of it in the house, and then the taste of it as soon as it comes out of the, it's like stealing muffins. When you make muffins in the oven, you take them out. You can't just put them on a plate for everybody else. You got to steal one for yourself.
Of course. My neighbor's been making bread, and she brought us some bread. But it very, very good. And I know a lot of people are making. I've heard a lot of people are making sourdough bread.
Yeah.
And so yeah, no, I love that. I've not been baking bread, but I have been cooking a lot, and cooking and baking and just trying new recipes. But I mean, I always kind of like to be in the kitchen and do that.
The interesting thing is, I'm not the only one that decided to make bread. We had to wait almost 2 weeks before I could find yeast.
Yeah.
The shelves were bare. Now that we're going back and we're maybe have more restrictions, I don't doubt the flour is going to start to disappear from the shelves. The toilet paper, the paper towels, you still can't find hand sanitizer and wipes. So, it's going to be like everybody's going to be rushing to clear the shelves again.
I hope not. I really hope not. I really do.
Go online and order it.
I don't know. I very, very early on, I started to get a little nervous about the toilet paper. I don't know, but whatever. I ordered some on Amazon. I'm talking a couple months ago. And it took, and it finally came in. And we had actually canceled the order and got a refund and everything, because before the toilet paper got here, they had already started to replenish the supply and the shelves were filling up. So we canceled it, but it arrived anyway. Well, it was a joke. We laughed so hard. The toilet paper was like little rolls, little itty bitty rolls. I don't even know what it is. And so anyway, we have it here in the closet just because I don't even know where it came from.
It's like a backup.
It'll be our backup. But I kind of take a peek when I go to the grocery store to see what supplies are back. And really the paper product aisle is looking pretty well stocked. The cleaning aisle as well. But like you said, because you can get hand sanitizer, like you can even get the big bottles of hand sanitizer, which I do. And then I fill up my little travel box sizes, because I keep like a little quarantine kit in my purse. Just got some in there, some hand sanitizer, my mask, whatever. But anyway, it's the the wipes you can't find, the antibacterial wipes you can't find. And I asked the lady at the grocery store the other day, one of the managers, I said, what is it about the wipes? Why can't they get that back going? And she said, I don't know this is to be true, but this is what she said. She said, it's the alcohol that they can't get right now. And I don't know if you noticed this, but at Market Street in particular, if you use their hand sanitizer, the big bottle that they keep by the cash registers, my daughter and I were there the other day, and we were just like, it smells funny. And the guy said, it smells like bad tequila, doesn't it? And I said, it does. It smells like bad tequila. He said that a lot of hand sanitizer, they're using like alcohol make their product. Again, don't know that to be true, but when he pointed it out, it did smell like bad tequila. And so I heard that they were having trouble getting alcohol to make hand sanitizer enough for everybody anyway.
What a waste of tequila.
I know, right? Emily and I started licking our hands and we took a shot.
Yeah. You take a little bit, you go like this. Maybe.
Exactly. I don't know. I hope it doesn't go back to the way it all was before. But if it means to keep us all safe, then I guess we have to do what we have to do. I get it. But then if it happens again in the fall, then there we are again. And so I don't know. So to your point, you've got to make the best of it. And that's what we've been doing over here. I had, let's see, about a week ago, I cleaned out 2 attic spaces and a closet. And I had 2 huge loads of things to be picked up, from toys to little pieces, like accent pieces of furniture, nothing major in the furniture, but to old baseball bags, clothes, and old print. I mean, just stuff. And I called a place called Recycle to Support, Recycle number 2 support. And when you go onto their website, you can actually pick the nonprofit organization that you would like for your belongings to, for the proceeds when they turn around and sell your belongings, what organization you would like to support. I picked Operation Kindness because it's an animal shelter. And they came twice to my house for 2 pretty heavy pickups. And I felt real good about it. I felt good that I did a little cleaning out. And then I felt good that I was able to pass on my things, a lot of bedding, things like that I know can be used, go to a good cause. And so I've been doing a lot of that. And I really like that I'm kind of getting things in order here. And being home has allowed me that time to do that.
That's a good tip. You said recycle, the number 2
support.
I like that, because I know that your tradition. We take a lot of. Yeah, we usually take a lot of our goods and we'll take it over to one of the resale shops. Well, a lot of people are like you and I. They're starting to get that they have the time and they start to go through the closets and all. Well, a lot of the resale shops are getting overloaded.
Yeah.
A, they don't have the room to take in new goods, and B, because of the pandemic, they don't have the customers coming in to buy up the goods that they do have. So I like this idea of a place like this, that you can not only donate to them, but you can pick, when they do sell goods, pick the nonprofit that you want the funds to go to.
Right.
That's good.
It's a great concept, and I did it twice. I had 2 pickups in 1 week because I really got busy. I worked hard, and at one point I was up in the attic over the garage, and I was just like, putting stuff into the garage from the attic above. I was just kind of like loading it down, and I mean, it just anyway, whatever. It was. I think it's a good time if you have some household kind of organization projects, whatever to do. You and I were talking about how to make the best of being quarantined, or how to make the best of, just maybe not quarantine, but how to make the best of having to spend more time at home. Some people are very, very content just being home. I have friends actually who said, I have to be careful because I have tendencies of becoming very sedentary. And so there are people out there who are getting very comfortable in really kind of staying home more. I like to run around, and so what helps me in that regard is that I hit the streets. I walk and run, and we're always out. Of course, I'm around the pool and I'm cleaning, I'm doing stuff like that. But, I just think it's important to whatever it is that fulfills you and keeps you kind of going. I think it's important to do that just during these times, because it's easy to slip into a not so healthy kind of mode, or kind of new habits. So I think it's important to try to do that every day. And that's what I've done every day, is I told you I took a grant writing course. I've got just 2 weeks left of that. I'll have my certificate, and that was really good for me. I was using my mind. I was on the computer. I was researching. I was, and I was going to end up with a certificate in grant writing, which I will in a couple of weeks if I pass my final. But just keep going, whatever it is. Just keep going.
Yeah, that's a good point you bring up, because I never thought about that. If we are going to continue to be a little sequestered, there are a lot of, from Phoenix University and the University of South New Hampshire and all. You can go online and say, listen, I always wanted to take a class from sketching to accounting, to whatever you have a little bit of an interest in. Now would be a good time, because you have the time to sit in front of the computer and take a course, get a certificate, become more proficient in something. There is a gentleman that I know, and his name escapes me. I think Ron Jones is his name, but he is teaching piano lessons virtually. He does it for a living and teaches kids how to play piano, but they can't go to these piano studios and all to learn and then practice. So he is developing a program of doing it virtually, where he can take on a few students at a time, and they all sit in front of the keyboard and they follow what he's doing. So it's again, I've used the word repurposing and rebranding a lot, but that's the position we're in right now. Is instead of, as you're saying, Vaughn, just being sedentary and saying, oh, well, I'll just wait till this is all over. Just be creative with your life and do things that can make you more interested in doing other things too. Get you up and moving.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's very, very important, because again, like I said, I have friends and they're not spiraling out of control or anything, but I have a couple friends who are very comfortable really not getting out. And I just think that could be a little bit, maybe not very healthy, mentally and physically.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay, that was my.
Which one was that?
Um,
Was that the new one?
No, that's this guy.
Oh, that's Rocky.
Yeah.
Hi, Rocky. Hi, Rocky. Hello, Rocky.
He doesn't really like that we're all home all the time. Cats like to have their own space. But anyway, right. Another thing though, because you and I are talking about finding things to do that are more like hobbies, or like for me, I mean, obviously I wanted to get my grant writing certificate, but the piano and whatnot, and that's all great and fun for those of us who can do that. But let's say you're home and you really actually need to go into work. There are jobs out there that right now they're looking for people. I mean, I can't say that but that you can do online, you can do from home. And so, search out those jobs, make your hobby researching those jobs that you can do from home. I was talking to this one woman on Amazon. She's with Amazon customer service. And she was helping me with an order, actually a return. And so we were on the phone kind of working through the process together. And she and I just got to chatting, because you know me, I chat with everybody, anyone and everything.
You do?
And we were just chatting, and I said, well, how are you doing during all of this? And she said, I'm very blessed. And I have the opportunity to work for Amazon customer service from home. And she said, I work a lot. And she said, and I'm making money, and I'm home, and I'm staying safe. I'm very, very lucky and fortunate that I can do that. And it just occurred to me, there are a lot probably of online customer service representatives needed right now, especially since all of us are shopping online and returning online and just kind of interacting online. And so if you don't have the opportunity to just maybe pick up a new hobby or two, if it's something that you really need, a job that you need, make your hobby researching those job opportunities out there, because it occurred to me that there really are a lot of them right now, new ones coming up even, so just, I think you can make the best of it. It's harder for some than others, but it's a choice, and you have to choose to make the best of it. And because it sounds like whether or not we go back into strict quarantine, it sounds like they're still encouraging us to very much stay at home as much as you can. And so if that's the case, we need to kind of figure it out.
Yeah, if you are, even mildly computer savvy, I know there's lots of companies that need people to help with record keeping that you can do from home. They give you the templates and things to fill in and send you the information that you need, and you can do it from your home. And also, if you want to put in 2 hours a day doing it or 4 hours a day, whatever, that it's up to you. That's a plus because you're not tied down to having to be someplace 5 days a week for 8 hours a day.
Right.
So, and again, that's where the computer is very, very helpful. Go in and just look for some of that kind of stuff. Just Google in there part-time jobs from home. And, you can find all kinds of sites that will tell you. It's just a matter of navigating them until you find one or two that really sounds interesting to you.
I think that's a great idea. And not only that, but also your physical state, obviously very important. We've always said to stay active. Me, I walk miles and miles and miles,
Right.
almost every day. And sometimes I get my run in there, but mostly I'm just long distance kind of, but I have a neighbor actually who used to love to go to spin classes, and she actually rented a spin bike because her gym where she used to go, her studio, offered that up as a deal that you could rent their bike. Yeah.
Rebranding, repurposing.
Exactly. She has since returned the bike because her studio did open back up. So she has been going back to the studio. But Matthew and I were just talking today. We're not sure how long gyms are going to stay open now with the restrictions kind of tightening up again. But my point is to just be careful and make sure that you're continuing to take care of yourself, both mentally and physically. I don't know, try to keep a sense of humor through all of it, right?
Well, also, I Zoom have Zoom meetings, and I like to just Zoom with other people, friends and family all around the country. Every other week or so on the weekend, we'll get together with some cousins that are on the West Coast and get on a Zoom, and we can see each other and talk to each other. And it's given us that outlet to stay in touch with people that way too. You can set up a free Zoom account, the basic account that's no cost. It's really fairly easy to navigate and do, and that's a good way to keep in touch with people. I mean, we can all do that with our phones and FaceTime and all, but it's a matter of being able to do this with 4, 5, 6 people at a time. So we are being creative, like you said. You want to keep up that physical aspect and all, and in my mind, you also have to keep up that mental and emotional part of your being too. Challenge yourself a little. Go on a Zoom and find a friend that wants to play checkers, and you can sit there and you can set up checkerboards and play a game of checkers or chess or so. Do board games that way. You can get several people, do a virtual Monopoly game. So there are a lot of things to do, and I think that those are the challenges that we need to grasp right now, because if they tell us that things are going to have going from 25 to 50 to 75%, and now all of a sudden it's going backwards, and a lot of the things that we've enjoyed redoing again are now going to be restricted again. That's when you need to get this something other than just sitting on the couch with something and watching movies. Do something to challenge ourselves a little bit too, emotionally and mentally, as well as you're saying, physically.
And stay connected with people as much as you can. And I have a friend and who just really doesn't really need a lot of socializing in her life. I mean, she just doesn't, and that's okay. It's okay if that works for you. But if you're finding yourself, I mean, some people love being alone and they don't feel lonely. Some people are alone and lonely. So there's a difference. I don't mind being alone. but I know that when the times when I am alone and feeling lonely, I'll reach out to a friend. And to
Yeah.
your point, to your point with our social, with our phones and our computers, now we can do that and interact. And you like you said with the Zoom, and I know my sister-in-law a couple months ago, she was down in Galveston and she wanted us to play bingo online, get all the cousins together and play bingo. So there are a lot of games that you can do. You can have game night with your friends or with your family if they're out of town or whatever. And you know what? Listen, we're not back in the houses yet. We can still go outside and see your people, go for a walk and do all that. But
Right.
if in fact that's the direction in which we're heading, just remember to take care of yourself during the whole thing and try to keep yourself going and happy, because this is getting to a point where it's dragging on, and this is probably very, very tough for a lot of people. The idea of even going backwards, I don't know, I haven't seen, but I know that I've heard mental kind of illnesses and whatnot, and I don't know, is going up, the number.
Depression. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's I mean, I even have moments sometimes where I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, are we still here? But I'm dealing with it, but there are probably many people out there who are not. And it's concerning to think of those people. So I hope that I don't know, I mean, I'm sure everybody knows what we're saying. We're not saying anything, but it's a good reminder. It's just a good reminder.
Exactly. That's the point I'm trying to make too, is, you talk about if we are getting a little depressed. Well, if you are feeling a little depressed, pick up your phone, call someone, and just say, hey, how are you? You talked about people that are shut-ins. Some people don't mind it, but there are others that it's excruciating for them to just wake up and do the same nothing every day. Those are the people you want to just reach out and say, hey, just want to see if you were okay. Have you been watching any good TV shows lately, or have you talked to your daughter lately, or call the daughter and say, have you talked to your mom lately? Reconnect with each other, and do whatever you can to keep them from maybe becoming a little bit more introspective and a little bit more depressive.
Yeah.
This can do that. I mentioned the baking the bread. Well, when the recipe that I make makes 2 loaves of bread, it's a heck of a lot more than Lauren and I can eat. So what we do is sometimes we share 1 loaf and we give another loaf to a family friend, or to a family member or a friend or a neighbor.
Well, feel free to come my way with that bread.
Oh, okay. Yep, I can do that.
My family can go through 2 loaves of bread like that. Get a little olive oil, put a little Parmesan cheese in there.
Or just slice that puppy across and just put in all kinds of cold cuts and things like that, and make a big po' boy, and all that. Just again, get creative.
That's right. Well, now you're making me hungry.
Yeah. It's approaching lunchtime, so
it is approaching lunchtime.
Yeah, have to be creative about doing that. So
yeah, I've got a house full to feed, so I'm gonna have to be thinking about that. But baking bread is something that's definitely on my list of things to try here while I have the time. So
yeah,
maybe I'll do that. I'll let you know.
Okay, well, we'll move on, and good luck on the rest of your grant writing class.
Thank you. It's been very interesting. A lot of information. Oh.
I hope you'll invite me to your graduation.
I will. It'll be done kind of like this. I'll just hold up my certificate.
Good. You get. Yeah. Well, maybe next week, or when you're finished, you'll get your certificate. You'll post it on our.
Okay. I'll do that.
Very good. All right. You and the family be well, and all. Okay. And for those of you that have joined us again, thank you. Thank you for spending time with us. And all, be well, stay safe, and all. And we will talk to you again soon when we get online and do another session of something to talk about. So you all be well and take care. And Vaughn, bye-bye. Mark,
bye. Have a good weekend.
Appreciate it.